The Splash Brothers were one of the greatest duos in NBA history, dominating the NBA while winning 4 championships throughout their tenure. So I've decided in today's video we're putting prime Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on today's Golden State Warriors to see if they can win another title. The first challenge for our team will be to make the playoffs, and that's because the Warriors are the number 8 seed with 31 wins and 29 losses, but I believe that will not be too hard of a challenge now that we have ourselves the prime Splash Brothers. And our starting lineup will include Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Moses Moody, Draymond Green, and Kristaps Porzingis, and then off the bench we have Q Santos, Al Horford, Brennan Pajemski, and DeAnthony Melton. Ever since the All-Star break, Moses Moody and Q Santos have been playing amazing. Moses Moody is averaging 17 points per game since the All-Star break, and then we have Q Santos who's basically averaging the same amount, 16 points per game. 2 players that will hopefully be a part of our future. Jimmy Butler will still remain out for the rest of this season. He does have a torn right ACL, but hopefully he returns by next season. Let's go ahead and simulate the first few games with the prime Splash Brothers on today's Golden State Warriors and see how we do. The first game is up against the Clippers, who we go on to defeat 115-93. Klay dropped 29 points, 9 rebounds. Curry had himself 22 points and 7 assists. Let's see if we can also go on to defeat the Houston Rockets and the OKC Thunder. We do end up losing to both teams sadly, only by 2 points to the OKC Thunder. Curry had 23, 22 from Klay Thompson, but I do believe chemistry still needs to be built. And before I simulate until the end of this season, I would really appreciate it if y'all could drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new. It really does support out my channel and video a ton. So Nikola Jokic goes on to win MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year, Collier 6th Man, Victor Wembanyama DPOY, Quetta Most Improved, Anthony Edwards Clutch Player, and JB Bickerstaff wins Coach of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections. I don't think we're going to have any All-NBA selections, and that's because they never played over 65 games. I believe Curry has fell below the 65 game mark, and the same for Klay Thompson. So we do not get ourselves any awards. We ended this season as the number 7 seed with 47 wins and 35 losses. And that means we are a playing team, and it looks like we're taking on the Phoenix Suns here in the play-in tournament. Hopefully we go on to defeat them and make the playoffs. We will have home court advantage on our side. So far we do have the lead, and it looks like we do go on to win 128-105, where Curry dropped 33 points, Klay Thompson with 21, and Porzingis with 18. And just like that, we've made the playoffs, and in the first round we will be taking on OKC Thunder. But before that, let's take a look at the player stats and see how the Splash Brothers did. So Curry ended this season averaging 27 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.5 steal on nearly 50-40-90 shooting splits. And we had Klay Thompson, who was averaging 24 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1.5 steal, shooting 42% from the 3-point line and 48% from the field. Now it's time to start simulating the playoffs, and I can't lie, the OKC Thunder are going to be a tough team to take on. They have themselves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and Isaiah Hartenstein. Their bench unit is stacked as well, so they were the number 2 seed, so hopefully we can go on to defeat this team. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to the OKC Thunder. They defeat us here 110-101. Klay had 23, 20 from Curry, but sadly that was not enough. Game number 2 will end up going to us though. Let's go. Curry going off here for 31 points, 25 from Klay, and a 19-point double-double from Porzingis. We also going to win game 3, and yes, we can. Klay goes off here for 31 points, 26 from Curry, and 19 from Porzingis. We are up 2-1. Hopefully we can continue playing how we have in the last 2 games. We also end up winning game 4 here. Porzingis went off for 32 points, 28 from Curry, and 19 from Klay Thompson. We win this game 137-112. Game number 5 will also go to us, and we go on a gentleman's sweep the OKC Thunder. Klay had 37, Curry with 20, and 15 from Porzingis. And just like that, we have made it to the second round of the playoffs. So far, Curry's averaging 25 points per game, and Klay is averaging 27 points per game. I have adjusted our lineup a little bit. Moses Moody has been struggling big time. He's shooting 27% from the 3-point line, 34 from the field. So I've switched him out for Q Santos, who will be our starting small forward as of right now. In the second round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. They have themselves Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, Ayo Dosunmu, Julius Randle, and Naz Reid, as well as Rudy Gobert coming off of their bench, and Jaden McDaniels. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to us. Porzingis 27, 19 from Klay, and 18 from Curry. Santos had himself 13 as well in the starting lineup. Game number 2 does end up going to the Timberwolves, 120-114. We fall short. What about game number 3? We do go on to win game 3, where Klay had 23, 16 from Santos. Curry is kind of struggling here, I can't lie. His 3-point shot has been off compared to the regular season. 35%, whereas in the regular season, he's a 40% 3-point shooter. Game number 4 will go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Curry with 21, 18 from Klay, and now I believe I will come up with a defensive coach game plan. I have come up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's see if that'll help us win these next few games. We'll jump into Simcast for game 5, where the Timberwolves have home court advantage. So far we do have the lead, and we do end up winning 122-107. Curry went off for 33 points, 27 from Klay, and 19 from Santos. All we gotta do is win one more game, and then we'll have made it to the conference finals. We do have home court advantage, but so far the Timberwolves have the lead, and it looks like we will be losing this game 126-112. Porzingis played good. Klay Thompson struggled big time, shooting 6 of 22 from the field. And now it's time for game 7, winner go home situation. Let's see if we can go on to win this game. Timberwolves will have home court advantage on their side. And so far, it's a pretty close battle, back and forth. They're up 127-117, and you know what? We're going to be jumping into this game. There is 1 minute 16 seconds left here in the fourth quarter, 121-117. We are down. Let's see if we can come back from this. I did call a timeout and sub in our starters. Hopefully that does help us win this game. Let's see what Curry can do. He has a ball, screen set by Draymond Green, wide open 3-point shot, and Draymond Green goes and gets the putback. Let's go. Curry missed a wide open 3, but Draymond was there to clean it up with that slam dunk. Now we're down by 3 points. Julius Randle back to Anthony Edwards. Almost wide open DiVincenzo, but thankfully he misses that shot. The ball is thrown up to a wide open Draymond Green and a wide open layup. Let's go. Draymond has been clutch. He scored the 4 points ever since we've jumped into this game. Anthony Edwards guarded by Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson was an elite defender, so hopefully he can lock down Anthony Edwards here. And sadly, Ant-Man does get that layup. Steph and Curry coming up with the ball. Let's see if he can hit himself a clutch shot. Running past DiVincenzo, Porzingis, wide open layup. Let's go. And now the game is tied at 123-123. There's 25 seconds remaining here. Ball inbounded straight to Anthony Edwards. Let's see what he does with it here. Guarded by Klay Thompson. 18 seconds remaining. Tie game. Hopefully we do not let him hit a clutch shot. That would suck. Trying to get by Klay, but Klay is locking him up out to Ayo Dosunmu. And thankfully he misses a shot. Okay, we don't sadly have any timeouts, and Draymond Green almost hit that shot, but sadly he did not. It did hit out the rim, and now it looks like we're going to overtime. 5-minute overtime. Let's jump into Simcast and see if it's going to be a close game or not. 1:48 remaining. We are up. Tie game. 1 minute remaining. 52 seconds remaining. Still a tie game. Let's jump in and see what happens. Okay, so Ant-Man with the ball, guarded by Klay Thompson. Can he do anything here? Let's see. He is trying to run up with it. He's trying to get close to the rim. Wide open DiVincenzo, and he hits the 3. Curry left him way too wide open there. Let's see if Curry can do anything here. Wide open, Q Santos, and he misses. 23 seconds left. DiVincenzo is fouled. It's probably going to hit both of the free throws, and Curry has been fouled out as well. But I'm pretty sure DiVincenzo will be hitting both of these free throws. First free throw is good. And so is the second. This game is over. That really sucks, but it is what it is. We end up losing 140-133. And that truly sucks, man. We have been eliminated here by the Minnesota Timberwolves. For the second year in a row, the Timberwolves have beat the Golden State Warriors in the playoffs. In Game 7, Curry and Klay played absolutely amazing, but the supporting cast around them was not all that good. Other than Porzingis, Klay, and Curry, no one helped us much on offense, so this offseason we will be pulling off a bunch of trades and bringing in some new help for the Splash Brothers. But now let's simulate the playoffs and see who goes on to win the championship, and it will be the Detroit Pistons with Cade Cunningham winning Finals MVP, averaging 41 points per game. And here are the player stats for the playoffs in case you guys wanted to see. Curry was averaging nearly 24 points per game, 23 from Klay, and the rest of the team was alright. Well, not really. Porzingis was the only other player actually helping us on offense, and Q Santos. But don't you worry, this offseason I'm going to be pulling off some big trades, bringing in some new talent, help out the Splash Brothers, hopefully going to win a championship next playoffs. And Jimmy Butler will be returning as well, so we will have some help incoming. We are about to get a huge trade here from the Atlanta Hawks. We are going to pull off this trade with the Hawks where we send them Moses Moody and our 20th overall pick. In return, we bring in Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who this past season was averaging 18 points per game. He's listed at the point guard position, but if we change that to shooting guard or small forward, he should go up to an 85 or 86 overall. So let's go ahead and pull off the first trade of this offseason. We are going to move Nickeil Alexander-Walker's position from point guard to small forward, and he goes up to an 86 overall at that starting small forward position. Let's go. For team player options, Draymond Green picks up his $27 million player option, and that's exactly what I wanted because we're going to use that contract to go pull off a trade. Of course, we're going to pick up the team option on Brendan Pajemski. And it looks like Quinton Post and Pat Spencer need a qualifying offer, but I'm only going to be giving it to Quinton Post. We don't really need Pat Spencer on this team. It looks like there is nobody that we need to re-sign this off-season. And wait a second, we actually do need to re-sign a big free agent, and that is Kristaps Porzingis. For some reason, we don't have bird rights on him, but we should be able to re-sign him here. He currently has 3 offers from 3 separate teams. The most interested offer he's in is from the LA Lakers, a 4-year $89 million contract. So let's see if we can up that here just a little bit, and hopefully he ends up accepting ours over the Lakers, and it looks like he is most interested in our offer. We are also in need of a backup center, so I'm going to go ahead and offer Quetta a contract here. We'll give him a 2-year deal minimum, and hopefully he goes on to accept as well, and it looks like we do sign ourselves Kristaps Porzingis and Neemias Quetta. I'm attempting to pull off a trade here that would land us Jaren Jackson Jr. to upgrade that power forward position. As much as I love Jimmy Butler, this video is about the Splash Brothers and winning them a championship, not about Jimmy Butler. So let's see what the Utah Jazz will say, and they accept the trade just like that. No need to throw in any first round picks. That is a surprise. I'm not sure what's going on here today with Trade Finder, but we have some insane trade offers. The New York Knicks are offering us OG Anunoby and a first round pick for Draymond Green and Will Richard. To make this a little bit more fair, I will give them a first round pick. We don't need a first round pick from them. And let's see what they say. And we do get ourselves OG Anunoby on our team. Now here we are at the start of this season with a new and upgraded 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we have ourselves Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, OG Anunoby, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Kristaps Porzingis. And then off the bench, we have Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Q Santos, Brendan Pajemski, and Neemias Quetta. I believe this season we're going to be absolutely unstoppable. Let's go ahead and simulate the first week of this season to see how we do. We do end up defeating the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then, sorry, not the Timberwolves, the Memphis Grizzlies, but then we go on to lose the Celtics and Nuggets. But of course, chemistry still needs to be built. We do have ourselves a brand new roster. We did score 157 points against the Grizzlies, where Klay Thompson went off for 50 points. Curry had a 29-point double-double, OG with 15, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker with 15 as well. As of right now, we will be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency, perimeter-centric under Steve Kerr. And now I'm going to start simulating here until the end of this season, but if there's any trades to be made, I'll make sure to stop here at the trade deadline and show you all. This season, we have made the NBA Cup Finals, and we will be taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Let's see if we can go on to win the NBA Cup Finals. We will have home court advantage on our side, and so far the Hawks do have the lead. They are up, and sadly they do go on to win by 2 points. I was trying to pause it there so we could jump in, but I accidentally clicked simulate and we do fall short. Porzingis had 21, Curry with 18, Thompson with 18, but it looks like Moody dropped 20 points on our head to win the Atlanta Hawks this game. We are stopped here at the trade deadline, and OG Anunoby in 2K Simulation is always a hit or miss, and sadly this time for us he has been a miss. He's shooting 29% from the 3-point line, so we will be moving on from OG Anunoby, and we're going to be pulling off a trade with the Miami Heat where we bring back two-way Wigs, Andrew Wiggins, to the Golden State Warriors, the same team he won a championship with. We also get Tim Hardaway Jr., but we will be instantly flipping him as well. And I did not mean to say as well, because Andrew Wiggins will not be flipped. He will remain a part of our team, and changing his position to small forward, he does jump up in overall. He will probably be our 6th man unless Nickeil Alexander-Walker struggles in the playoffs. We can always switch them out. I will be pulling off one final trade, and that is going to be trading away Porzingis. Porzingis has been amazing for us offensively, but sadly we are one of the worst rebounding teams, and for that we need ourselves a rebounding big man, and Zubac could help us a ton on the rebounding side and defensive side. So we're going to be pulling off a trade here with the Pacers where we send them Kristaps Porzingis and Tim Hardaway Jr. in return for Zubac and Obi Toppin. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win MVP, Cameron Boozer Rookie of the Year, Scoot Henderson 6-man, Wemby also wins Defensive Player of the Year. Igor Demon Most Improved, whoa, he was averaging 20 points per game. I had no clue that he progresses this much offensively in 2K. But he ends up winning Most Improved, Paulo Banchero Clutch Player, Mike Brown Coach of the Year, and we go on to win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have all NBA selections. We do get ourselves Stephen Curry on an all NBA second team. And somehow we don't end up with Klay Thompson, but that is alright. And we don't get anyone on an all defensive team either. But we did end this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 61 games and losing only 21. Now hopefully we're able to continue the regular season success into the playoffs. But before we start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at the Splash Brothers stats for the regular season. So Stephen Curry was averaging 28 points per game, 4 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 1.5 steal on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. 44% from the 3-point line. How many 3-pointers did he make? 352. Klay Thompson was averaging 22 points per game, 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1 steal, half a block, shooting 44% from the 3-point line and nearly 50% from the field. This season we had ourselves a lot of help for the Splash Brothers. As you guys can see, almost our entire team was in double-digit scoring. Obi Toppin has not been a part of our rotation, so exclude him from here, but a lot of players in double-digit scoring. For some reason, our boy Jaren Jackson Jr. is only averaging 12 points per game, but his defense has been phenomenal. And now in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. They have themselves Jeremiah Fears, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Zion Williamson, and Derek Queen, as well as DeJounte Murray coming off of their bench unit. They do have a pretty stacked bench, I'm not gonna lie. But let's see what happens here. Game number 1 will go to us. Curry drops a 36-point double-double, 25 from Klay, and 25 from Podziemski in only 15 minutes. Let's go. Game number 2 will also go to us. Klay Thompson dropping 42 points and 10 rebounds. Curry with 25, 17 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Game 3 will go to the Pelicans. Game 4 will go to us, and we do go on to gentlemen sweep the New Orleans Pelicans. And so far, Curry here in the playoffs is averaging 34 points per game, whereas Klay is averaging 28 points per game. And now in the second round of the playoffs, we will be taking on Dallas Mavericks, and they have themselves a current Klay Thompson who I did not take out of this simulation, which is totally alright. They have Kyrie Irving, Klay, Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, and Derek Lively II. It's Klay Thompson taking on Klay Thompson. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1 will go to the Mavericks. They win here 120 to 109. And the current Klay Thompson dropped 23 points, Curry 26, 18 from Triple J. Game number 2 will end up going to us. Curry with 45, Klay with 28, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker with 15. Game number 3 does go to the Dallas Mavericks. They win here 142 to 107. I will come up with a defensive coach game plan, and then we'll advance to game 4. Alrighty, I have come up with the defensive coach game plan. Let's jump into Simcast and see if we can tie up this series. The Mavericks will have home court advantage here, and we do start off the first half really strong, and we end up winning this game 129-107. Curry dropped 28, 24 from Klay, and 19 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Let's go on to game 5 where we have home court advantage. So far we do have the lead, but can we keep it? And yes, we can. 115-99, we go on to win with Curry dropping 36 points, a 17-point double-double from Zubac, and 15 from Triple J. All we gotta do now is win one more game, and then we'll go on to the conference finals. The Mavericks will have home court advantage for this next game. And so far we do have the lead, and it looks like we will be winning 115-104. Klay Thompson goes off here for 32 points, Curry with a 25-point double-double, Zubac with an 18-point double-double. And it looks like in the Western Conference Finals, we will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, the same team that has eliminated the Golden State Warriors for the last 2 playoffs in a row. So hopefully this time we're able to get back at them and eliminate them in the Western Conference Finals. They have themselves Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Naz Reid, as well as Rudy Gobert coming off of their bench. Let's see how things go. Game number 1 will go to them. 132-105, we fall short. Now I want to come up with a defensive coach game plan. I don't want to risk it, so let me quickly change that up, and then we'll advance to game 2. I have now come up with a defensive coach game plan. Will that help us win the next few games? We do end up winning the next game, holding them to 95 points, whereas we scored 126. Curry had a 33-point double-double, 21 from Klay, and 19 from Triple J. Game number 3 will also go to us, 103-97. Let's go. Our defense was amazing. Triple J with 30, 19 from Klay, and 18 from Curry. In the next game, we do fall short, and now the series is tied. It did go to overtime from the looks of things, losing 123-121. Curry had 33, Klay with 19, and 18 from Triple J. The series is tied at 2-2 apiece, so let's jump into Simcast and see if we can go up 3-2. We will have home court advantage on our side, and we do start off the first half really strong. And it looks like we will be winning 139-110. Klay dropped 35, 23 from Triple J, and an 18-point double-double from Curry. I did higher Triple J's shot tendency a little bit because his shooting splits have been phenomenal, but he's just not taking as many shots as I would like for him to. Now we're up 3-2. Let's see if we can defeat them here in game 6. Timberwolves have home court advantage. We do start the first half with the lead, and it looks like we will be winning 119-114. Klay Thompson with 22, 17 from Curry, 17 from Santos, and the same for Triple J. Now we have made it to the NBA Finals. We're either going to be taking on the Detroit Pistons or the Toronto Raptors, and it looks like it will be the Pistons. Steph Curry goes on winning Western Conference Finals MVP, Cade Cunningham Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And last year, the Pistons went on to win the NBA champion, so they currently are the defending champs. And taking a look at the Pistons roster, they have themselves Cade Cunningham, Cam Thomas, Ausar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart, and Jalen Duren. This is their bench unit. They have themselves a pretty stacked bench unit as well. Let's see how things go here. In game number 1, we go on to win, Curry dropping a 24-point double-double, 22 from Nickeil, and 21 from Klay. Let's go. Game number 2 will end up going to the Pistons. Curry played amazing, so did Nickeil, but we do fall short here, 135-128. Now, I would like to come up with a defensive coach game plan. I would much rather have Klay Thompson guarding Cade Cunningham than Steph Curry, obviously. I have now come up with a defensive coach game plan. The series is tied at 1-1 apiece. Let's jump into Simcast where the Pistons will have home court advantage for game 3. So far in the first half, they are beating us, but can we come back? And no, we cannot. We lose this game 128-110. Curry had 31, 15 from Triple J, and 15 from Klay. Hopefully we're able to win this next game to tie up the series. Let's jump into Simcast where the Pistons will have home court advantage. And so far it's a back and forth battle. We have the lead but only by 1 point. 8:50 remaining, tie game. Let's slow this down and see if we can start to run away with it. It looks like we are kind of starting to run away with it, and yeah, we're going to be winning this game. We outscore them 44-28 in the fourth quarter, winning 131-116. Curry dropped 33, 24 from Klay, and an 18-point double-double from Zubac. And now the series will be tied at 2-2 apiece. Let's jump into Simcats once again, and this time we have home court advantage on our side, and we do start off the first half really strong, but they do push back here in the second half. We're up by 2, 8 minutes remaining. Can we keep this lead? And they take the lead right back from us. 6 minutes remaining. They are up by 3 points. Hopefully we can stay in this, and it's a tie game, 1:55 remaining. We take the lead. We're up by 1 point, 1 minute remaining. I will be jumping in. And I have just made a terrible mistake. I thought we had a timeout left, so I called a timeout, but sadly we get ourselves a violation, and now the Pistons are at the free throw line. I was trying to sub in our starters, and obviously I messed up, and now they're at the free throw line. Colin Sexton shooting a free throw here, and he misses, thank God. And if they scored that would have been a tie game. That would have been bad. But now let me fix up the camera angle. Inbounded to Colin Sexton, guarded by Klay Thompson, I believe. Screen set by Jalen Duren. Let's see what they do. They give it up to Cade Cunningham, guarded by Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and that was a 3-second violation if I'm not mistaken, but whatever, it is what it is. Cade Cunningham with the ball, trying to drive up, gets blocked once again by Nickeil, and they go on to miss, but please don't tell me that's a Pistons ball, and thankfully it is our ball. The ball is inbounded to Steph and Curry. Let's see what Curry does here. And wide open layup, Curry with the 2-pointer. Let's go. He just drove right by Cade Cunningham. That is what I'm talking about. Now we have Cam Thomas coming up with the ball, guarded by Klay Thompson. And he does go up for a layup, but he thankfully misses. Curry with the ball, and now they're going to intentionally foul. There's no way Curry's going to miss these free throws. Let's see. Crowd is chanting MVP. Curry hits his first free throw. Hopefully he can hit his second, and Curry goes on to hit his second free throw. Let's go. Even though this game is maybe over, let's stay and see if they're going to try to hit a clutch shot here. Cade Cunningham with the ball, guarded by Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And what is he going to do? He tries driving, but he goes on to miss. Klay Thompson with a rebound. Curry fouled, intentional foul, and now we will be back at the free throw line, and this game is over. And that game was huge. Now we are up 3-2, but let's take a look at the box score. So in game 5, Curry went off for 41 points and 11 assists. Klay Thompson had 28, 23 from Nah, and 18 from two-way Wiggs. Now let's jump into Simcast here for game number 6, where the Pistons will have home court advantage. So far we do have the lead. It looks like we will be winning this game. 6 minutes remaining. Well, actually they are starting to push back here in the second half. 3 minutes remaining and they're coming back. We're only up by 5 now. I will be jumping in around 1:30. Holy, they just tied up the game, and now we are up by 2 points. 1:30 remaining. We're going to be jumping in and see what happens. And oh no, Stephen Curry has fouled out in 19 minutes. I was trying to sub him in, but I couldn't find him. I scroll all the way down here, and it looks like Curry has been fouled out sadly. So this is the lineup here we're going to be running with. We have Nickeil Alexander-Walker taking over the starting point guard position. I am going to call the timeout to let the starters sub in, or at least not the starters, that lineup sub in. Alrighty, and now it's time to see what happens here. Of course, the Detroit Pistons have the ball. They give it out to Cade Cunningham, guarded by Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Colin Sexton was wide open, but thankfully he did not pass him the ball. He is trying to drive up Cade Cunningham, but he is being locked down by our boy Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He passes out to Ron Holland, who's not a good three-point shooter, and he misses. Q Santos with the rebound. Let's see what he does here. He is driving, but he passes out to Jaren Jackson Jr. That was a pretty dangerous pass, but thankfully it was not a turnover. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, wide open three-pointer, and he misses. Zubac almost had the rebound, but sadly he was not able to get there in time. Ausar Thompson with a layup. Klay Thompson did not play. Well, he was playing pretty good defense on it. That was just a really tough layup for Ausar Thompson. Klay Thompson with the ball. Let's see what he does here. He is driving and he gets a slam dunk. Let's go. Prime Klay was something else. That is what I'm talking about. And now Cade Cunningham has the ball, guarded by Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Come on, lock him up, bro. We need you right now. And he's not able to get by Nah. And he does go up for a rough shot, and he misses. I'm not sure if that was a foul. Should we challenge this or not? I think we should challenge it. Doesn't look like he was touched. If anything, Cade Cunningham kicked Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So I'm going to go ahead and challenge this. And that will be huge if we're able to win this challenge call. Let's see what happens. And it looks like the call will stand. Sadly, the foul was not overturned, so that counts as our last timeout. 20 seconds remaining, we are up by 2 points. And now we have Cade Cunningham at the free throw line. Hopefully he misses at least one of these. First free throw is in. Hopefully he misses a second. That would be huge for us. And the second one is in as well. We have no more timeouts. Klay Thompson with the ball. Can we get a clutch bucket here? Let's see. He's guarded by Colin Sexton. Sexton is not a good defender whatsoever, so he should be able to do something here. He is trying to cross up, and he misses a three-pointer, and that means it will be going to overtime. What we will do for overtime is jump into Simcast until there's about a minute remaining, and then we'll see if we need to jump in once again. And we do have the lead. We're up here by 1:30 remaining. We are kind of starting to run away with it. 1 minute remaining. We're up by 5 points. Let's go ahead and jump in and see what happens. Is there any substitutions we need to do? And yes, there is. And don't tell me Nickeil Alexander-Walker has also been fouled out, one of our leading scorers who scored 24 points in this game. But there's nothing we can do about that. Now Brendan Pajemski will be the starting point guard. Cade Cunningham with the ball, guarded by Pajemski. I would much rather have someone like Wiggins guarding him, so I will change that up if Cade Cunningham scores here on Pajemski, but let's see what happens. And yeah, that's in, dude. I'm going to come up with a little defensive coach game plan. We're going to have either Klay Thompson or Andrew Wiggins guarding Cade Cunningham. Alrighty, now we have Klay Thompson that will be guarding Cade Cunningham. He was doing an amazing job locking him up earlier. Or actually, that was Nickeil Alexander-Walker, my bad. But let's see what Klay does here. He goes for a layup, and he makes it. That was a tough layup, but thankfully that went in. Cade Cunningham with the ball. He hits a three-pointer, but he misses. Thank God. Hit that out to Andrew Wiggins, and now they're going to start intentionally fouling. It looks like the ball will be going into Klay Thompson, our second best free thrower besides Steph and Curry. Klay Thompson should be able to hit both of these free throws, and if he does, this game is over. The first one goes in, and the second one also goes in, and now we're up by 7 points. This game is over. And just like that, we have won the Golden State Warriors and the Splash Brothers a championship, with Stephen Curry winning Finals MVP, averaging 28, 5, and 8, as well as 2 steals, shooting 61% from the three-point line. That is what I'm talking about. In Game 6, Klay Thompson went off for 35 points, Nah with 24, Jaren Jackson with 20, and a 15-point double-double from Zubac. Before we end out this video, let me show you guys the player stats for the playoffs. So we played a total of 23 games. The leading scorer was Stephen Curry, averaging 29 points per game, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. Then we had Klay Thompson, who was averaging 23 points per game. He had himself an amazing playoff run as well, 15 from Nah and 15 from Triple J. In the NBA Finals, we played 6 games. The leading scorer once again was Stephen Curry with 28 points per game, 23 from Klay, and 19 from Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And now that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 rebuilds. And click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.